What's up, guys? We're here at All Access Card Shop, and we're here with...
Micah, Brault.
And what did you do today?
I just won the Switch tourney.
And what deck are you playing?
Cash.
All right. Any shots you want to do before the deck profile?
No, it was all me. Shout outs to Going for Sky Striker, Dark Lords. That deck was based at Ignister. No, shout outs to everybody at All Access. Everybody at the local scene. Everybody here right now. If you want, show these beautiful people.
Shut up.
Got Carson back there.
And,
Actually, this one Black Rose.
shout out 702.
Yep,
I'll do
sure.
some more when we go through this stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Let's get into it.
I'll do these first. These are the one-ofs. With the two traps, basically, I want to play both modems of the game, whether I like lock 5 people with Ogre and like doing the Big Bang combo, or playing it for just like a Rise Heart Pass. Jesse Cotton said that like we could do one of these now, and honestly, second one never came up when we were testing, so I was like, oh, this is pretty base. I like this. 3 ofs, 3 Unicorn, 3 Fenrir, 3 Birth, 3 Thriosis, and 3 of the Field Spell. Max out on Engine game 1, because in reality, for the most part, I think that if you get the combo, you should just go for it, right? So this is just max out the possibilities to like see the 3-card combo and then lock 5. That's why I put in another terraforming, which I wasn't running for a long time, specifically for to like again maximize and try to find it. Okay. One of each trap. This one's specifically for Rise Hearts Pass. Like some players here specifically play kaijus in the main even, or specifically here play kaijus a lot. So this is just for that, so we can like Scare Claw, banish our own Rise Heart, summon it again. That happened literally one time today, but like the 5 lock combo also literally came up one time today. So there you go. Doing this too. This came up a lot. It was never bricky. The only times that I drew 2 of these were specifically going second. Nobody wants Desires to resolve ever. So like activating this is like my first action. I was playing against, is it Brandon? I was playing against Sprite Gishki.
Yeah, Brandon,
right?
yeah.
And I played this immediately. He's like, oh, Toad Negate. I was like, sick. Play this. Oh, I'll Toad Negate that one too. I was like, oh, sick. So now you have like the red that you summoned off a starter. So because he's playing Gishki and I hand trapped him earlier, it was so funny. I hand trapped him earlier, so he had a ritual spell, take 5,000 damage for cost. Summon dude, started. Okay, on my turn, started. And I'm like, sure. Special summon Unicorn, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, GG? And he's like, what? I'm like, you have 1,000 life points, buddy. This monster's huge. But yeah, just like having these high priority spells to like specifically search stuff. We'll see some like tech cards for like different slots, and I'll talk about some side patterns later where like I side these out specifically in the area, but like finding something when I really needed it, these really came in handy. Our locals is like a lot of cash, and it's also a lot of Sprite, and these I think are both good in both of those matchups. Like if they have like a bad normal summon, you hit this, or like a Rise Heart it. This is better to break boards. Originally, these were 3 enemy controller. Shout out to Jonathan Lee. That card, low-key, kind of cheeks. And I was also thinking about siding it, and the side card that I picked was just a blowout even more against Cash specifically. Yeah. So if I'm just like siding these, or siding enemy controllers for the Kashmir, it was really, really bad. And I no longer wanted them in the main. So Michael said they should just be these right before the tournament started. Nice. Shout out Michael Wagner. And that was right. I saw this all the time, and it was goated. There's 2 branded players that are locals. One of them is really okay. And the other one, main decks the Expulsion combo. So, yeah. 3 Lances. More integral for the Arise Heart Pass. Generally okay. I think it's really funny in deck profile videos when they say it comes up when you damage step something and make it lose 800 attack, which I did 3 times today. Yeah.
Nice.
And we main deck 2 of these too. This deck, it has a really easy time going first and second. I think like the engine is just like the best in general. It's like kind of delicate. So like A, trap decks, B, when you activate goes in like the mirror, it's like a Harpy's Feather Duster, which is like really good because a lot of people are Rise Heart passing. So this is just like kind of broken against that. And then just generically, like on soft boards right now, because like Sprite got touched up and everything, these cards like generally hit everything. There was a thought to have this be triple tax and thrust specifically too, but there are a couple of people here who play trap decks, and I just wanted something to like, if I lose the die roll specifically against that kind of deck, that I don't just lose the game. Because in reality, like hitting the normal summon, or even just sometimes deck is so delicate that sometimes you hit the field spell, which I did today. They don't have a monster and they just pass. So like, this is like broken.
How many trap decks you played today?
How many trap decks did I play today? I played 1 trap deck at round 3. It was Corey, and I literally saw this game 1 and game 2.
Damn.
And game 2 was more of a grind because he was more prepared for it. But game 1, this card like literally blew him out. He ended up like adding back the level 4 off of Big Welcome Labyrinth for like another play, had 1 extra card in hand, and I ashed the normal summon, and he went, "Whoa, I'll go to game 2." Do this too. Shout out for Zach for organizing these. 3 Arise Hearts, pretty standard. Just for the grad game for when we're both Arise Heart passing. The third one came up specifically against Joe Hazlitt today, which was my like top 4 opponent on the stream. Joe had a better play and misplayed game 2, but game 1 specifically, I went through 2 of these, and Big Eye turned into my third one. But like theoretically, if like he didn't have a monster like after that line, then this would have to have been my third one. And then the second game, like literally 2 of them were banished, and I could only make 1 as well when I cracked the board the second time. 2 Zeus, pretty integral for the mirror. Trap decks, Sprite. This card's won me so many games today. I sat on it for 2 turns against second place. And
Put Zeus on Zeus.
Put Zeus on Zeus. I had field spell Zeus, attack Zeus. Oh my god. 2 Shangri-Ira. Most of the time a Prospe target. Sometimes needed for the 5-zone lock.
How good is second big eye?
Look up. Thank you, Michael Wagner, for telling me to play second big eye instead of
Watch a stream.
If you watch a stream, I literally bait 1 time with the first big eye, make a second big eye, do it in the mirror too. The one time Joe like banished 1. I made the second one, I took it. It was really good.
Shout out the time you attacked into one and then tried to take it.
Yeah.
Literally would have won 2 turns earlier.
This card's awesome. Sometimes it's like the third big eye. Like sometimes they have to destroy it, otherwise I'm popping both cards. Specifically in the Sprite matchup against Topher, this was like super good. It definitely comes up for like a soft clear, get recursion, make a Zeus, and then hopefully I grab Birth, but if not, sometimes a monster. They still have to clear the Zeus effect. It's because it's like a delicate format. Like this card's really good. Zone lock, Dracossack out skill drain, which also happened today. shout out Corey, I'm so sorry.
You gotta roll to greet him.
Prospe target. these are the only 2 prospe targets I play. Theoretically, this is for like runic or like making cards just generically harder to come up. Honestly, today specifically, this should have been a different card because like we don't have any runic players. The runic players play trap decks. This could have been like an Entis or like the wagon card. Yeah. Like here it's gonna be bad, but like generically this is like a strong card. Plus people play like wonky tech options. Just like it's good in theory, but like my first attach is always this to like draw a card, and then like my second attach is this, and generally I think I'm just like winning by that point anyway. Donard, this shout out to Mitchell Drake, Sword Soul player. The only time I've ever made this where I thought this was extremely broken, because there's literally a play line. I'm stuck on a body. I have a unicorn in hand and an ash blossom, and we got to a point where he has like a Tenyi monster that I just don't know. You can't destroy it by battle by opponent's effect monsters, and I needed to clear my zone, so I normal summoned Ash, linked into this, pop this and that to free up a zone, and then like normal summon my unicorn and kill him from there.
Nice.
I feel like this is pretty standard though.
Do you ever miss any of the extra deck cards, like other options, or not really?
Let's see. What other options are people like?
Like Red Eyes Flare, I guess, or
I think this format's like too quick to play into time. None of my games ever went to time, and like Red Eyes Flare is also kind of like Masquerade. So Masquerade is better though, because when your opponent activates a card, they just immediately burn. But Flare Metal has to be there on resolution, and people are playing generically like all the books anyway. So if they just like book it because they know they're playing at the time, it's just like it's dead. And then the other option is to play a Raid Raptor card and summon a dude from like your deck that burns your opponent for 1,000, and then you have to pass your turn there. And you made a face. That option sucks. So
it does not sound great.
Yeah, so both of those options kind of suck. Also, I think like this is kind of tight by the way that I want to play it being super flexible. So like, I didn't miss anything. I can't think of another card that's there. All right, the most broken part about today. This side deck is the best. It is hands down, every card in this side deck happened, worked, and did this job, and it was like goated. Against any deck that isn't the Kashmir, activate Sprint Effect, Shifter. And that one, I played against 2 Sprite players. Shifter came up both games. I sided it in no matter going first or second, just because it's like, even though they can play through Shifter, it's just generically weaker because they don't have a sprint line. Also, there is a lot of Sprite in our at our locals, and not only that, but both Sprite players. Shout out to Topher. Shout out to Mason. They're very respectable players, and they're very good. So I played the Gamma. Today, happened against Topher, I Gammaed a Gigantic. Against the Gishki Sprite player, I Gammaed his normal summon, and he passed. This is also a catch-22 for other decks. I sided this in against my Sword Soul opponent. He normal summoned Ecclesia after taking a long time, Ecclesia effect, and I Gammaed it, and he went, sick, set 1 pass. So, like, this card was just generally all-around MVP. I sided third one of this and one of these, specifically for trap decks. So because I play Desires and Prosperity, these come up more often because generically I'm just digging through.
Cards.
Yeah, just seeing more cards in general. Also, I want those cards to be blowouts because, like I said, my deck is real. Like, Cash is sort of fragile. Sometimes hitting the normal summon is just way too impactful, and like outing several cards at once and having a couple of engine pieces so you can like play through is way more important than like having Cosmic, even though I think Cosmic's a little bit more flexible, and there's a couple of matchups I would think about citing Cosmics in instead, like Runic. We just don't have any Runic players, and like that became so much less relevant that it was like, whatever. This was my kaiju of choice today. I don't have any side deck options for cash other than this and like the gamma. But like I just realized more down the line that like with side out patterns, the gamma side in is actually really, really bad. But it does come up in situations where you can activate a spell first. They mandatory attach with a Rise Heart effect, and then you gamma them. Which is originally why I was playing Omega instead of a second big guy. And but like that was kind of like mid when we were testing, even though like it would win you the game sometimes it'll also just like be worse for wear. Yeah. So instead for citing into that matchup, I cited these 3 cards, and then I also cited a Harpy's Feather Duster and the other Evenly going second. I think like specifically for Rise Heart Pass, the 4 cards, the 2 other Evenlies and then this, are just way more impactful because when they set 3 cards, you do this and now you just have to worry about 1 Rise Heart. Generically, you can play through that pretty easy.
Yeah. And
then like this is super sick because it works into the Lock 5 zone board, and it also works on Rise Heart Pass. I played one cash player. And in playtesting, like, even if, like, you can't play because of the rest of your engine spots and you only have, like, let's say, like, the back row, right? Tribute this, go to end phase, summon a Rise Heart back, and just have this in a Rise Heart is, like, so backbreaking when you have, like, Book Lance in the back, right? Because even though Rise Heart's not immediately live, it's, like,
it'll gain value.
It's still gaining value, and it's still a threat, and I didn't have to... Like, in a war of attrition, like, I only put 1 card in to break their entire board, right?
Yep.
So, that was super good. And then last cards were these. So we play, this locals, again, plays a lot of kaijus. Zach. Shout out for Zach for telling me this. He chose this. So that's why this is in here. Shout out to Joel for not knowing that you have to reveal your hand to be able to activate this card.
And you still lost.
Still lost. Only lost all day. And I had this in my hand. He flipped this and I'm like, dang. And then I went, you don't have a hand, buddy. And he went, what? And I still lost because he flipped a sauce card on me that shouldn't work, and now I'm pissed.
Shout out Summon.
No, it's our boy Summon Limit. Oh my god.
But like, so the really cool thing that I just want to touch up on lastly about like this triage, right, is like side patterns specifically were like kind of wonky and funny where I'd side out going second, 1 Lance, because even though it's like an aggressive card, you don't want to see it. It's like kind of good for like pushing through a book sometimes. Like I have to side out Desires when I play the Gamma package. So like now I just like for any deck that these just are generically good, right? It's like I side out Desires and then I have more power hand traps to be able to like play on their turn a little bit to like soft break the board, and I needed those cards to be super strong. So I'd always just side out those Desires against those matchups, and then if I like generically saw one of these against any of those matchups, it's like, oh, that's just innately impactful. Plus like there's some minor benefits, like even going second against trap decks, I sided these 2 in because like flipping Judgment when they're like trying to like stop you from playing is like really strong too.
Especially if you see like a board break or like the evenly like prior.
Right, and it's like, oh, so they main deck that. What if, you know? And this was just super impactful. The least impactful card for me all day was this Appointer of the Red Lotus, and it's literally only because I didn't see it early enough that where like I drew it one time, set it face down, had 1 card in hand, passed, and I was already winning. He drew a card. I said anything in draw phase, and he goes, "No, we'll go to game 3." I was like, "Oh."
It made him concede.
He didn't even know. Yeah.
It could have been set evenly.
Could have been a set evenly, but like, so it would have gone hard. It didn't.
Also, would you make any changes to the list or nothing like nothing to your mind right now?
I think that if I were to expect different decks or like a different ratio of decks than I did expect specifically here, then I would have made a couple of changes. Like maybe like Gamma isn't the strongest hand traps against other decks, right? So like switching that out for something that's like more readily available for Prosby and for Desires specifically, because like that comes up. But other than that, I think like what I expected and what I wanted to accomplish, I think everything was really, really good.
Do you remember your matchups?
Yeah, it was a Gishki Sprite player, a Sprite player, a Sword Soul player, a Trap Deck player, one Cash player. It was Labyrinth. And got me. And one other deck. Oh, 2 Cash players because I played one in top 4.
Yep. Okay. Awesome.
You conveniently missed the dry chomp player.
All right, well, thank you so much.
I'm not going to say that Carson was the buy, but I hand trapped him once, and then he said, yeah, you got it. And then game 2, he said, show me Birth. Show me Birth right now. If you play Birth right now, I'll scoop. And I went, activate Birth. He said, you got it. He drew Ben 10. He had Alpha Ben 10.
Didn't draw the alphabet.
His next card was Ben 10.
The next card was Ben 10, and you had 2 hand traps.
Oh, am I lying? Also, shout out to Speed Duel and everybody at All Access for getting me this too, and then this playmat, and then I'm also winning tomorrow. I'm the GOAT now.
I'm doing this all day on you.
Wait, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to Cali.
All right, we're back with Micah.
Yep.
He won the Switch last night.
Yep.
3rd place today at the Circuit Series.
Yep.
All right, let's get into it.
I played the same deck. I played a Unicorn and Fenrir and Fenrir and Fenrir and Unicorn and Unicorn. God, 3 1-ofs. The 2 traps. This is the Rhoda thing. 1 terraforming because I'm playing 3 other field spells, so that's 4 field spell. 3 Birth. 2 Desires. 3 more pots. 3 Book. 3 Lance. 3 Book. Oh God. 3 field trap. Yeah, evenly matched. It's pretty good. I didn't organize this at all. These are a bunch of cards. It's literally the exact same thing. Those were the prosperity targets. Gamma's the guy.
Riveting.
Back row. Hate.
Trap dust.
Going first. Trap dust shoot. Trap dust shoot. Kashtira matchup. Kashtira matchup.
All right,
It's the exact same deck.
congratulations, Micah.
Yeah.